Greetings viewers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we have another tool video, another head-to-head comparison tool video. After this video on the Snap-on Flank Drive Plus wrenches versus the Icon anti-slip grip wrenches about 2 years ago or so now, did that video when Icon launched comparing the two, and I had a ton of comments from you guys telling me to get Wright Grip 2.0 wrenches and test them out to see how they hold up, and that's exactly what we're doing today. I was able to luck up and buy a set of Wright Grip 2.0 wrenches, very lightly used on eBay, as you see from the screenshot right here. This is an SAE set, as I just said, so I'll be looking at some grade 8 SAE fasteners when we get into the testing. We've got both a 9/16 headed bolt and a 3/4 inch headed bolt. We're going to compare specs and price and see which one gives you the best bang for the buck. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so we got the Snap-on Flank Drive Plus on the left and the Wright Grip 2.0 on the right. And as you may notice, the Snap-ons on the left are full polished chrome wrenches. The Wright Grips on the right are satin chrome with polished chrome on the open end and the box end. You can get the Wright Grip wrenches in full polished chrome. I just happened to get the satin because that's what I looked up on eBay. Now, if I'm correct here on the research on the set I bought, the part number for it is 714. That's the matte finish SAE, which is 3/8 inch all the way to 1.25 inch. It's on Amazon right now, prime for $259.95. Now, you can get, as I said, this in full polish. Now, for the sake of comparison and to be as close as possible with the full polish Snap-on set, we're going to be comparing the Wright part number 711. That is an 11-piece SAE wrench set, which is 3/8 of an inch to 1 inch full polish chrome. That set is $146.35 right now on Amazon. I will be leaving links to these wrench sets in the description below, as well as adding them to my Amazon storefront if you are so inclined to check out a set of your own after you see the video. So a comparable Snap-on set will be part number SOEX710. That's a 10-piece Flank Drive Plus full chrome set. That is 5/16, a 3/8 to 7/8. That set is $421. So already the Wright has a huge advantage in price. Now, where are the wrenches made? Of course, Snap-on, USA, and well, with Wright, these are a USA made wrench as well. They're not some cheap offshore wrench, even though they're priced more like a wrench made in Taiwan or China rather than what you would typically pay for a USA made tool. So again, $421 is list price on the Snap-on wrenches. If you do have a Snap-on dealer, you might be able to get them on promo or a little bit better price than that. But average Joe, if you're watching the video and you're going to buy a set of Snap-on wrenches, you're likely going to go to snapon.com. You'll be paying $421 if you buy them from snapon.com. Whereas Wright Grips wrenches here, as I said, it will cost you $146.35 on Amazon for the full polish 11-piece set that has more sizes than the Snap-on set. So as a quick comparison between the Snap-on and the Wright Grip, first of all, Wright is more of an industrial brand, whereas Snap-on is more geared toward the automotive sector. Now, with that said, the Wright Grip wrenches, size for size, as you see here, are quite a bit shorter than the comparable Snap-on. Now, that seems to get more apparent as size increases. With the 3/4 inch wrench here, you see we've got a good 1.5 inches or so difference. The Wright is a little bit shorter. And if we look at the 1/2 inch wrench here at the bottom, it's a little bit closer in size, only about 1/2 inch shorter between the Wright and the Snap-on. Another comparison comes in the actual I-beam, the handle of the wrench itself. The Wright wrench is thicker, and being thicker, a little bit more comfortable in your hand when you are pressing down with your palm. Being that it's a wider beam, it doesn't tend to dig into your hand quite as bad as the Snap-on's thinner beam. So let's take a look now at the open ends of these wrenches, what makes them special. This is the Wright Grip wrench. You can see the teeth here in the open end of the wrench. That's what bites into the fastener and what helps give them their extra biting, gripping strength with the open end. Again, as you can see, and as I said, this is a used set I got off of eBay. It's not a brand new set. Ideally, I would like to have used a brand new set for testing purposes, but these have very little to no use on them. Looks like maybe they were in a toolbox or a tool bag and really didn't get used. That is the Wright Grip 2.0 open end. And now we shift gears over to the snap-on and take a look at the Flank Drive Plus end. As you can see, it's a little bit different design than the Wright Grip wrench. The Wright Grip wrench basically has 4 or 5 evenly spaced teeth at the back of the open end, whereas the Flank Drive Plus has a larger ridge at the front, a hump, and then it has 3 or 4 teeth there at the back side as well, top and bottom. So a little bit different design with the snap-on flank drive versus the Wright Grip 2.0. So your quick comparison about what I was talking about a little bit ago about the beam thickness. There's the Wright Grip 3/4 on top of the snap-on 3/4. As you can see, the handle, the beam on the right is thicker and more rounded than the snap-on. The snap-on does come to a finer edge than the Wright Grip, which can dig into your hands when applying a lot of pressure on the wrench. So the Wright is going to be more comfortable. Part of the toothed open end wrench system, the fact that they have more bite, that means that they are going to destruct the form, the bolt or nut to a degree with those teeth. So here we've got a comparison to 9/16 grade 8 bolts that I have marked with Wright and snap-on on, so you can see the pattern that these wrenches leave when gripping on a fastener. So this is what's left behind with the Wright Grip wrench. As you see, you've got 3 little ridges right here, but we do not deform that corner. That corner is still straight and true. You can put a socket on there and you're not going to have any issues. Opposite flat of that, you have a little bit of a nick right there, but again, that corner is still straight, maybe rounded just a hair, but it's not going to affect this bolt. It's not going to affect the integrity of it. Putting a socket on it in the future will not have issues getting that socket on the bolt. So again, that's the Wright Grip. So then we look at the snap-on Flank Drive Plus wrench with this bolt. As you see, there's 2 larger marks right there than what the Wright Grip left. Just a quick comparison. The Wright Grip bite marks are much shallower, if I can get the focus right. So the Wright Grip teeth marks are more shallow than the snap-on Flank Drive Plus. Snap-on wrench does bite in very hard. So looking at the corner, you can see this did move that corner just a bit. It does bite closer to the corner than the Wright Grip does. It will not affect putting a socket on there, but it did get closer to the edge, to the point, and it did damage it more so by digging in deeper than the Wright Grip wrench did. So opposite flats again. This is the bottom of the Flank Drive Plus wrench where it bit. It did move that corner. As you can see, it's got like a little saw blade tooth action going on there. But again, this would not affect using a socket or something in the future on this bolt. It's still very flat on all sides, and the corners are still intact. So all of that is all well and good, but what does it really equate to in full-on grip strength? I know a lot of you came here to see me round off or break off the heads of bolts with these gripping systems in these wrenches. I've done this test before, as I did with the snap-on versus the Icon. This time we had some surprising results, but there's always variables in these kind of tests. So first we'll show you the video of the Wright Grip 2.0 wrench in 9/16 on a grade 8 bolt once again. And as you see, the Wright wrench sheared that head off cleanly, and it barely damaged that fastener in doing so. Next, we're going to look at the snap-on 9/16 and compare it to the Wright grip. So as you see here, the snap-on did actually round over the corner. I'm going to take the wrench, reposition it, and see if I can grab another good flat and see if we can continue to see if the snap-on will take this bolt head off. So as you've seen, we have had several instances of damage to this fastener, and now it is pretty much rounded off where it's not going to come off. Just for the fun of it, we'll put the Wright Grip 2.0 wrench on it to see if that does anything, but I doubt it will, as boogered up as this bolt is now. Alright, so that was a complete failure for the snap-on. Was it a bad bolt? Was it just bad luck for the snap-on? Most likely, with the size of this, that was just bad luck for the snap-on. I've seen plenty of snap-on Flank Drive Plus wrenches break off bolt heads just like the Wright Grip did, but this one case, we see it failed the test and did not get it. So this is going to be a very crazy idea. But let's up the ante and try a 3/4 inch bolt. I've never seen this done. Normally it's 9/16 or a 13 or 14 millimeter that's done with this anti-slip grip technology, either Flank Drive Plus or Wright Grip 2.0. So first we're going to try the Wright Grip and see what it does on this 3/4 inch bolt. See if it's got the bite capable of shearing this thing off. Big ups to Wright, their wrench did not round the bolt, and it did not break the wrench. But what happened was the vise actually failed during this test. When I was turning the bolt head, the nuts that I had the bolt threaded into actually twisted, flared the jaw open, and as you see in the picture now, cracked the jaws of the vise all the way down. So without another vise, I cannot test the 3/4 inch snap-on Flank Drive Plus in the same way I did the Wright Grip 2.0. But again, I think it's pretty much a futile test. This is basically just to show how well these wrenches will grab. This is not something you would actually do in a real world scenario. You would be putting a box-end wrench or a socket on something that tight. Normally an open-end wrench is not going to be needed for something that tight. But it is nice to know that your open-end wrench has the ability to grab something that tight and turn it or break it off without slipping or rounding that fastener or damaging that fastener. So now back out in the shop, we've got the bolt that the Wright Grip sheared off that 9/16, and we see our little teeth marks around because I did change position as I turned the bolt and gripped it in 3 different positions. But as you see, this bolt head is still nice and straight and true. No corners are deformed or rounded off. It just bit in and sheared it off like you'd expect. Big ups on the Wright Grip 2.0, especially for the price point. Now looking at that bolt that failed with the Snap-on Flank Drive Plus. As you see, it's pretty much destroyed. This is not exactly the way it ended up after the Snap-on Flank Drive Plus and the Wright Grip got a hold of it. It did take quite a bit for me to get the nuts off of the back of the bolt here. I do believe that perhaps my washer was part of the issue on this, that it was too thin and it flared and kept the wrench from fully seating on the bolt head. Let me adjust focus real quick. As you can see, there is, like I said, maybe 4/5 of the wrench contacted. You see this little area right here, where the jaws did not fully sit on the head of the bolt. Would that have made a difference? I honestly don't know. But as I've said in the past, I've seen this Flank Drive Plus wrench break off these heads fairly easily, just as the Wright Grip did. So it might have just been a weak bolt. So let's check for damage on the open end of the wrench after doing the test with the bolt heads. So the Wright Grip wrench, as you saw in the clip, right after breaking off the bolt head, we didn't have any damage to the teeth or the gripping section of the wrench. But as you see, there is a damaged area right here. The wrench did have some of the teeth rounded over, knocked down. That happened when I was trying to turn the damage fastener that the Snap-on had rounded over. That damage did not come with the bolt that we broke off. Now, talking about that, another thing that I saw in comments on Wright Grip wrenches in the comments on the last video and on TikTok comments was that their chrome is a little softer and more prone to chipping or flaking off. And not sure how well this is going to come through on the camera, but you might be able to see right here, there's a couple areas where the chrome looks to be bubbling up, chipping up to flake off. So that's something to think about. With that, if you've ever cut your hand or got a sliver of chrome in your fingers before, you know exactly the type of pain that you are in store for. So mind those open ends, because that stuff will get jagged. So let's look at the Snap-on Flank Drive Plus end now. After the issue with the bolt rounding off, our bottom jaw is undamaged. Our teeth are still in good shape. Sorry about the focus here, guys. With a macro lens, it's very tough to get in focus. It's a very shallow depth of field where you have focus. So as you see there, those teeth are fine. And the upper teeth, we do have a little ding of damage over here on this side, a little flattened out spot. But other than that, the Snap-on wrench did fare more well than the Wright Grip did on that front. So here's a little bit better angle of the Wright. You see the teeth here on the bottom are unharmed, but we do have that damage here at the top where it is a little bit rounded over, flattened out, and you can see those areas where the chrome has flaked up a bit there, and here. So I'm not sure if it's something in the heat treatment for the Wright wrench, or if it's just not as strong a metallurgy as the Snap-on wrench has. And so here's a closer look at the 3/4 bolt that the Wright Grip was on. Again, it's a little bit mangled because I had to put it in an impact, and as you see from the marks here, I had to cut the bolts to get the tension off them. I couldn't get them loose. I didn't want to damage this, but as you see, the Wright Grip 2.0 bit in. It did not damage the corners to a point where you couldn't put a socket or a wrench on there and remove this bolt. And, you know, it didn't give up the ghost. It didn't shear that head off, but that's a lot to break off, especially only holding and pulling with the open end of a wrench. So humongous ups to you, Wright, again, for this product, especially at the price point, and made here in the good old US of A. Alright guys, and there's our comparison between the Snap-on Flank Drive Plus wrench and the Wright Grip 2.0 wrench. Really surprised by the Wright Grip 2.0, really impressed that a wrench that's a third of the cost of the Snap-on performed as well as it did, if not exceeding the performance of the Snap-on. Again, I like that the Wright Grip had a thicker handle, a wider beam, more comfort in that wrench than the Snap-on when putting force down on it. It won't dig into your hand quite as bad as the Snap-on does. A disadvantage being the Wright is a shorter wrench than the Snap-on, so you don't have quite the leverage on the Wright wrench as the Snap-on wrench. Another thing I noticed with the Wright Grip wrench, not sure if this was just in fact of mine being used in an older set, or if it's just the way they are. I'd heard in comments before that the chrome is kind of soft on the Wright Grip wrenches and is more susceptible to damage, flaking, and chipping, as we saw on a couple of the wrenches. Already seeing that deformation of the chrome, whereas I've got Snap-on wrenches that are older than I am that really don't have chroming issues, but there's always the opportunity to have a bad batch in any manufactured product. So, long and short of it, Wright's Wright Grip 2.0 wrenches deliver professional grade quality and performance for a third of the price, and it is very well priced for you DIYers and guys that aren't doing this professionally. You guys doing it professionally, it's even more of an incentive to pick up a set of these wrenches and try them out, because they're, like I said, a third of what most of the tool truck wrenches run. Might as well try them out. Only real disadvantage is you don't have a tool truck coming to you every week to service you in case there's an issue with one of the wrenches. And, you know, they're a little bit shorter, but other than that, they performed exceedingly well. And as always, big ups for them being USA made. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.